This is New Day Northwest. Now, here's Margaret Larson.
Good morning, everybody. For more than 20 years, Marais, the French steakhouse in New York City, has been delighting diners with simple, classic cooking. And from the beginning, the restaurant has been kosher, something they take great pride in and still sets them apart from other quality steakhouses. The cookbook, Les Marais, is a delicious foray into the world of French gourmet cooking with a focus on meats done exceptionally well. Please welcome Executive Chef Mark Hennessey. It's nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for having us, Margaret.
So
Appreciate
tell me
it.
a little bit about how the restaurant got started.
Well, the restaurant was started by our owner, Jose Morales.
Who happens to be here, right?
Happens to be here in the audience.
Sitting in the audience.
And at the time, he was partners in a steakhouse in New York City called Leal. It's a very big, very famous steakhouse. And he was at a meeting, quite simply, and I think one of the attorneys there was Jewish and said, "Hey, how come we can't get a place like this kosher? The meat's terrible. Why can't we get a place like this?" So at the time, he looked into it and found the only difference between what kosher was doing and non-kosher was doing was the way that they treated their meats with aging.
Really, that's it?
That was basically it. It's the same cuts, the same animals. It comes, I mean, literally these exact same animals. So the aging is what set it apart. Did a little bit of experimentation, worked out well. Found a spot in Times Square 20 plus years later.
Woo.
Here I am chatting
There
with
you are. Okay,
Yes.
what are we making today?
Okay, today we have a classic dish, it's a Chateaubriand. Classically, the Chateaubriand.
That's too bad, because I don't like that at all.
No,
I love it.
no.
I love it.
We're both vegans, apparently. That's why I have this slim figure. So the Chateaubriand, classically, they use the end part of the filet mignon. Now, being that in kosher, you can't go beyond the 13th rib, so the back end of the animal is not available to us.
Okay.
So what we do is we take the ribeye, which is the king of all cuts,
Right.
and we break off the cap. That gives us this here, which is the eye of the rib.
Oh, man, so the best of the best.
The best of the best. And then just to give it a little bit of extra flavor, because the eye tends to be a little bit leaner than other cuts, we do what's called barding, and we line it with fat. So when you sear it off,
Oh, so you've added that fat.
this fat is all added by us, by our butcher.
Okay.
So this allows it to protect the actual flesh of the meat.
And it's so neatly done. I didn't
neatly
even
done,
notice
it's
it.
tied up. We have a really classic, nasty little French butcher. You know, that's just the way a French butcher should be. They shouldn't be happy. They have to be a little bit nasty, a little bit gnarly, and we have that down pat. So
Perfect.
first thing we're going to do is get some nice heat going on the stove.
Okay.
And of course, you want to season it really well. When I say season it well, I mean season it well, not like, You have
get in there,
beef
right?
needs to be seasoned well. Okay? Season
like
it like a
this.
man. Okay, Margaret? Season it
Or a
like a
woman.
man.
Now, did you put any oil on the outside of this? Or you're
Not
just
yet.
using...
No, I don't put oil on the outside of the
Okay.
meat. I first season it really well with salt and cracked black pepper, which we have here. And then I'm going to put some oil in the pan itself. Of course, I don't have the oil here, but that's all right. We have a non-stick pan. It's fine.
I can go get the oil
That's
if you
fine.
want.
We have plenty of fat here. Going to get that seared really hard. And I say, again, hard meaning you want a really good, crisp crust.
So the meat stays tender inside.
Well, not even just, it's not, people think that searing the meat actually keeps in juices. That's not true. It's actually a fallacy. What searing the meat does, it gives texture in your mouth, flavor, and color.
Okay,
So
I'm
that's
in
what we're looking
favor
to
of
do.
all of
We're
those
looking to
things.
give texture, flavor, and color. So we're just going to give this a really good hard sear, which we're probably not going to get during this. But we'll try
That's
our
okay,
best.
but we will
We'll let
imagine
sear.
that.
We have a finished product we can show. Let's imagine it's searing. But then there's two ways to finish that off. Once you get a good hard sear on all sides, really good dark brown. Usually when you think it's, average person, I tell them if you think it's done, go a little longer. Yeah, and also when you're searing your meat, people love to fiddle around with their meat. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I worry with it a lot.
It's done?
Don't do that,
Is it done?
right?
Is it done? So whether you're searing on a pan or you're actually on your grill at home, let it be. Let the heat do its job.
Leave it alone.
Leave it be. Stop fiddling around with your meat, okay? Let it be.
Quit playing with your food, kids.
Yes.
It needs to sear.
So, anyway, what's the matter with you? So anyway,
I love it when we amuse ourselves. All
so
right.
there's a couple ways to finish this off because it's a big hunk of meat. It's not going to finish off
Right.
with searing.
Can I have an asparagus while you tell
Have an
us?
asparagus while
Okay.
I'm shooting. You gotta have
Keep
a seat.
going.
I'll finish the show up. I have nowhere to go.
Oh my God. Keep going.
I have no place to go. My flight's delayed.
Me either. We're
Yeah,
here.
We're here. Let's chill out all
We'll
day.
talk.
Go for lunch. So we finish it in the oven. Of course, I like my meat rare, medium rare. So a piece
Me
that
too.
meat, a piece that size, you're probably looking at, I don't know, 10 minutes, 12 minutes in the oven to get a really nice rare to medium rare. Now, the other thing you could do with which I actually prefer is I like to use an immersion circulator, which is this machine here.
That's what we have here.
This water feature to your left, the Zen machine.
I kind of just like the sound
Yeah.
of it. But what do you do with this?
Okay, quite simply, what you're going to do, assuming this piece of meat is brown on all sides.
What are you looking for?
There you have it.
I do? The
Yeah.
baggie?
Right.
Yep,
So what
sorry.
you then do with it, get your sear, let it cool down a little bit. I like to put a little bit of garlic in the bag, some flavor.
Yum.
A little bit of thyme in there, a little bit of extra flavor. Then once it's seared off, assuming it is, you're going to put that right in the
pretend
bag.
it
Let's
is.
pretend that
Okay.
it is. Then you're going to drop it into this machine, which is set to the exact temperature that you want on the inside.
Oh,
It's called an
interesting.
immersion circulator.
Yeah.
This machine actually is made by a local company, here in Seattle.
Cool. What
And
is
that's
the
it.
company? Do we know?
Chef Steps.
Chef Steps. Okay.
Yeah, it's called the Jewel. They're a local company. They do it's an amazing machine. What this will do, if you leave it in this for a piece that size, about an hour and change, which is great. Obviously, prep in advance, do other things while it's cooking. It'll give you a clean temperature from top to bottom. Versus the gray circles around, the
right.
raw spots in the middle. This gives you a gorgeous
That's
clean.
gonna be beautiful all the
so
way
you'll have
through.
you have your sear, you have your flavor, you have the color. Then when you're done, it'll come out something like this, which
That's
is gorgeous
beautiful.
on all sides.
Tell me about some of the side dishes here.
Of course. Again, I love simplicity. I'm a simple person, not that sharp, so you got to keep things simple for me, right? You lower this down before you burn somebody.
Okay, thanks.
So I like very simple foods. Once the season comes, cherry tomatoes. I'd love to
Those
roast
roasted
throw them
tomatoes.
right in the oven. I keep them on the vine, as a matter of fact. You know, if you think of the smell of a tomato, the majority of that aroma really is coming from the vine.
Really?
Yes, you might as well roast it with the vine on. Get those flavors into it.
Come here, tomato.
Come at you. Roast it, some salt, some pepper, olive oil, a little bit of garlic.
That's good.
And what you
Some
have
green
is
onions.
something those are actually ramps. Those are local ramps. They're available just for a short period of time.
Okay, good note. You have the
Very
asparagus
simple.
over
Some
here.
beautiful asparagus. These are actually purple asparagus from the tips.
Yes. Those are
they're
so
gorgeous. They're very
flavorful.
simple. You could throw them in the oven even if you wanted to. You could sear them, blanch them, saute them.
Now, is all that in the
anything you want.
cookbook?
That's in the cookbook. That's in the cookbook. The ramps are not, but there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that's in the cookbook. The cookbook's full of very simple concepts and ideas. I designed it so that anybody can pick it up.
Good. So we don't have to make all the 5 classic sauces, etc. We
If
can
you
just
want
do
to,
this.
actually I have a chapter in sauces. If you want to get into making the 5 sauces, they're actually in the book. But the average person we both know is not going to do that. So let's keep it very simple, very basic.
I
You can
love
pick up
that.
the book, read it, have fun with it.
And make food
And
just
make
a
food
notch
for your
up or
family,
two.
yeah.
So a question about the restaurant. I know that
Shoot.
you guys are kosher.
We
Do
are
you
kosher.
close for all the holidays, that kind of thing?
We do have certain holidays that we have to close down for, required to close down. Parts of Passover we were closed just towards the end. There are some we do have to close. We are closed for Shabbos, which is Friday evening and Saturday. But we're open the other 5 days a week.
The rest of the time, we can
Rest of the
find you in
time.
Times Square when we visit
We're
New York.
right in the heart of Times Square. I mean, if you know where that TKTS booth is, that
Yeah.
famous, I can hit it with
Go
the
there.
baseball. I might need a cutoff man, but I can hit it with the baseball.
Okay, I can be your cutoff man. What if we got over here? I just want to ask
I
before
just
we
threw
go
that
because
out
it
there
looks
because it's something that's a
delicious.
fun dish I like to do. It's a tongue taco.
Really?
Tongue, right,
That
so-
would not have been my guess.
Not have been your guess. No, you know, in the Jewish food culture, tongue has always been a big thing. You go to a deli, get a nice tongue sandwich, you know, tongue in a pickle, you know. So instead of doing a tongue sandwich on rye and mustard and that whole spiel,
We made a taco.
I made a taco out of it. Right. So the idea, I use this machine to cook it as well. The tongue, 24 hours, nice and slow. You have to peel off the skin.
Oh boy.
It's really nice.
Yeah. Okay, I believe you completely.
I can show you a tongue if you want to see it, but maybe
I've
not.
got one right here. Thank you, though. Chef Hennessey has shared this delicious recipe, and you can go to New Day's website and find it there. Thank you very much.
My pleasure,
Thank you
Margaret.
for
Thanks for
coming.
having us.
When we come back, a 9-year-old golfer from Bothell shares how he came from behind to win it all at golf's biggest stage, the Masters, after this.
This New Day cooking